Your noise cancellation is really good. There's nothing.
Damn it! Okay, it's fine. Can you? In 5, 4, 3.
Hello. What the fuck? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the On Cloud 9 podcast, where in this episode, Mark and I actually film a podcast.
It took us long enough, but we did it.
So essentially, Redline Tech Week was brutal, and then scheduling just wasn't working out. But we're back now, better than ever.
And I got sick.
Mark did get sick. Not
Very
COVID
sad.
though. So
It wasn't COVID.
don't worry. Just regular sickness.
Just
But-
regular pre-COVID sickness.
Yes. But we're back now. And what have you been up to, Mark? Besides being sick?
Well, have you noticed anything different about, my video?
No, absolutely nothing.
Nothing? Nothing at all?
Nope. No clue.
Not even the slight change of tonal quality of my video?
Are you in a different room?
So what have you been up to this week, Justin?
I got back to work for once. Volunteer work. Besides that, I've been working on projects for the company.
I feel like we might need to edit out how disgusted I looked when you said volunteer work, but it's okay.
It's fine. I'm just an EMT. No big deal. Not just out there saving people's lives or anything.
An EMT.
Is that a song?
No, it's Simple Sponge. That's okay.
Oh, nice. I think it's funny that EMT just sounds like a sandwich.
I'd like to order an EMT, please.
What kind of cold cut starts with E? Bologna. Nope, that's a B.
Egg salad.
Eggs. E.
Eggs, mayo, and tomato.
That actually doesn't sound bad.
No, it does sound bad. Egg on
The egg
cardinal
sounds
sin.
bad. The egg sounds bad. The other two.
We can replace the egg with something like tuna. Delicious.
Tuna mayo. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Tuna salad is literally just tuna and mayo.
Yeah, it is.
And celery. Can't forget the celery bits.
Sweet corn. Sweet corn goes well with tuna mayo.
Really?
Very well.
I didn't know that.
Surprisingly well.
My grandma used to make like tuna salad, except instead of shredded tuna, it was like a shredded chicken. That was really good too.
That does sound tasty.
For
Or
people-
pulled pork.
Oh well, pulled pork is just phenomenal.
Pulled pork is its own thing.
It's
Pulled
like
pork is its own
one of
thing.
the best things you could possibly have. Like,
Whoever came up with the idea of shredding up a pig is incredible.
I don't think that's the idea they had, but that is in fact right.
That's what pulled pork is.
You're not wrong. Anyways, we have a great episode for you today. We're having one of our choreographers, Ari, on the podcast shortly, which is gonna be really exciting. And then we have a couple announcements for you at the end.
Yes, we do. So, are we ready to bring Ari in?
Yeah. So here's that part.
Hi, Ari, is that you? Welcome in. Come on in. Oh, I didn't see you there.
This bit is so old.
I know. So today we have Ariel Triunfo. Hey, Ariel.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. For me, it's 11 in the morning, so good way to start off my day.
11 in the morning.
11 in the morning. I mean, 11 in the morning isn't that early, but I don't remember the last time I was up at 11 in the morning.
And that's about being British on a Eastern Standard Time sleep schedule.
Basically.
So go ahead, Mark. All you. Take it
go
away.
Okay. So we just want to talk about sort of how sort of you got involved in just generally theater and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So what is it that sort of how long have you been doing it and kind of what got you into it?
Yeah, I guess I have an interesting story. I mean, everyone has an interesting story when it comes to theater, but for me, I didn't start theater until I got to college, which was about 5 years ago, if I can tell time. But I originally started as a classical ballet dancer, and I've been doing dance my entire life. since I was 4 or 5 years old. I trained pretty much every year since that age. And so I did a lot of performing in classical ballets. I also studied other styles like, modern, lyrical jazz, tap, hip hop, kind of everything you can think of. And then I was dancing with a professional ballet company for a few years. And then that was during, I took a break between high school and deciding if I wanted to go to college. And then I came to the decision that I did want to go. But I had always kind of had, theater was always like on the side for me. Like I had never studied it, but it was something that was kind of interesting to me, but I never really delved into it. But then I realized that I could put my skills to use in musical theater if I got training in singing and acting in addition to my dancing experience. So I auditioned for a program in Santa Fe University of Art and Design. And I got in and I did a year of school there. And then I transferred to Columbia College Chicago and finished up the musical theater program there. And now I'm living and working in Chicago.
That's really, isn't that where Anna went to school? If I'm not mistaken?
Yes. Funny story. We actually never ran into each other there. Yeah.
Were they at the same time?
Yeah.
That's
whack.
And you never ran into each other. For reference, we're referencing Anna Gold, our artistic director of the company, just for everyone listening. That's really cool.
That's weird that like you guys went to the same place, didn't run into each other, and then ended up in a common. That's similar to how, similarly with Anna, Dev and Anna.
Yeah, same place,
and then
same time. Yeah.
And then what is it with everyone meeting Anna randomly and not realizing it?
Funny story about Dev as well. We were just in the same virtual fundraiser and didn't realize.
Awesome.
Like recently?
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's funny.
Well, you just didn't realize it was happening.
Yeah, we didn't realize we were both in it.
So how did you go from like working in like professional, obviously there was a pandemic, so you probably weren't doing much of dancing or work. How'd you go from doing all that to AVPM?
Well, I guess TikTok is always the bridge. So I didn't have TikTok until like March 2020, needed something to stay creative because I kind of got like everyone, I got pulled out of stuff right in the middle of everything. I was in the middle of a show run and, had things lined up and everything. And obviously everything came to a standstill. So I found myself wanting to do something fun. And I wasn't really like a YouTuber or anything like that. I guess in the past I had like enjoyed making little videos back before the internet was big. But I decided to make a TikTok. Started off with cosplay because I've always loved that. I've gone to Comic Cons and stuff like that, and I saw that it could be done in an interesting way on TikTok as well. And I was inspired by all the amazing creators I was seeing, yourself included, Justin. So I started doing that, and eventually I found myself on the side of TikTok that combined like theater people and cosplayers, and found my way through to the crew that put on AVPM.
What a wild time.
It still feels like a fever dream.
Yeah,
honestly. I'm not convinced it happened. I haven't watched the video, so I still don't believe it happened. It is almost been a year though. It's soon.
Until you watch the video, it hasn't happened. Strictly speaking.
What? Exactly.
Until you watch the video, it hasn't.
Tree falls into forest. No one hears it. Did it fall?
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. It's been so long. And it's so crazy to think about. Like, obviously it did actually happen. Have to admit that. But like, yeah, it's almost been a year now.
Mm-hmm. It's like, weird.
I know our marketing director sent us things like, hey, it's almost been a year. We should probably start you know, and then I was like, it's been a year. I was shocked. I was just blown away. And then from AVPM, you got into choreographing for our company as well, right?
Yes. Yes.
So,
So
I know you're working on Lightning Thief. Is that your first project?
choreography wise,
Yeah, choreography wise.
It's not my first choreography project. I mean, it's my first project with Club Theatrics as a choreographer, but I actually got into choreography back when I was dancing professionally. I started with the ballet company that I was working with. There were some opportunities to pitch ideas for the dancers to choreograph on each other. And my ideas were accepted each time that I pitched. And so I was able to choreograph on my peers for the first time, which was cool and a bit intimidating because I was one of the youngest in the company at the time. But everyone was great to work with. And it was really cool to start exploring that side of the creative process. And then over the past few years, I've continued to choreograph in dance and then also started choreographing in musical theater once I got to Chicago. I've done a few musicals around the city, and I've also assisted with some of the bigger companies here, and I have some projects lined up for next year, hopefully, to assist and choreograph for some theaters in the city.
That's
Really
awesome.
fun. Yeah, that's awesome. So it's like,
Thanks.
like finally being able to sort of like do something like, you know, outside of just sort of like pandemic and like the stuff that you've sort of heard in person again.
Yes.
Just like we're finally coming out of it, finally coming out of this horrible.
Oh, fun.
Yes, which also feels weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seeing all the dates coming out for when Broadway shows are coming back is just like make me so happy. And it's such a good feeling. Such a good feeling.
Absolutely.
So what have you found like the difference between choreographing in person and choreographing, you know, like Lightning Thief, which is completely virtual?
Yeah. I mean, probably the main difference, which I think everyone can attest to, is that it's different not having everyone's energy in the same room. Like that's something that you can feel whether you're in the rehearsal room or you're performing and relating to the audience, or even just in a room with people. There's that element missing. Another big thing is, of course, technology. It's always tricky to, not everyone's connection is at the same speed. People have tech issues. Sometimes it's hard to explain something when you can't really show people like in person. But what I have found helpful, which I think I'm going to carry through to when I continue to choreograph in person, is having reference videos. I think it's super helpful to have that on hand, both for dancers and for myself, just so we can go back and look at, okay, this is what we did. Even if it evolves from that, we have this as a base to go back to. Yeah, I'd say the biggest challenge is just technology, but there's always positives to each kind of thing. And I mean, with virtual productions, you get to work with so many people from anywhere. So that's a big plus for me. But of course, I love the in-person element and actually creating in a room together. That's great too.
Yeah, it's going to be great to be back.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was gonna say how have you enjoyed like actually the general choreographing experience for Lightning Thief? Like has it been like what's the process actually been like in regards to like choreographing the songs and trying to figure out a way to do it? Honestly?
Yeah, it's been great. Probably the most helpful thing that was like the first reference point was the shot list. Because that way I already have something to look at, knowing what the director is looking for, knowing what the editing team is looking for, and having an idea already of kind of where everyone's going to be at each point in the song. And then from there, I kind of just listen to the song over and over, so that I have it in my head. And then from there, I reference the shot list to know like who's at what point. I communicate a lot with the director to figure out like which parts will be choreographed and which parts will be more directed. And from there, I just, think about the story, think about the music, and figure out what movements will best serve the story and the actors.
So obviously something like Lightning Thief is, because it's Percy Jackson, it's not always like dancing or like real dancing. It's a lot of like almost like battle choreography. I don't know if there's a word for it or not, but like how does it differ choreographing something like Lightning Thief compared to like something that's not Lightning Thief? You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I mean, it's interesting because I have had the pleasure of doing a variety of kinds of shows. So it's not my first time working on something that's not like heavily dancey. But at the same time, I would have to say that it's like my first chance to really work on something that is kind of like battle focused, like you said. And I guess what I always pull from is making sure that I'm pulling from the story and telling the story. Because even in pieces where it is more dance heavy, I'm always most interested in telling the story, and using whatever movements best serve that. Doesn't always mean that we're going to be kicking our faces or doing 5 pirouettes. Sometimes it is, which is great, but a lot of the times it isn't. And it's a lot of fun to work on this story because I am a huge Percy Jackson fan. I got to see The Lightning Thief when it came through Chicago. And it's a story that's dear to my heart. And being able to pull from the story and from everyone's excitement and from my knowledge and experience, that's what I love about choreographing, is being able to put all that together.
Awesome.
That's really awesome. So how have you like adapted? Obviously you talked about dance for Lightning Thief, but how have you as a dancer adapted to like the pandemic and dancing and everything?
That's a trickier question. I've done a few like virtual projects myself where I've danced for other people's projects. But also I think I've taken a lot of like a big step back physically, not in the sense that I'm behind, but in the sense that I'm not dancing every day. I'm not training every day like I used to. And it's hard in a lot of ways because I'm not used to it physically. I mean, maybe now at this point. And also mentally, there's always that feeling of like, oh, when everything gets back, I'm going to be so like behind and out of shape. But I've just been doing a lot of like figuring myself out in other ways and staying active in the ways that I can. So I just have to remind myself to be kind to myself when I do get back to class and training, as I can. But I would say that I definitely haven't been like dancing every day. It's kind of hard to keep up the same level like in your bedroom. Some people do it, which is great for them, but for me, I'm not able to do it in that sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's hard. It's the last year has been so hard. So now that it seems like when the stuff is slowly going back, it's gonna be nice.
Nice. Moving slightly away from dance. I know that you were also part of the writing team for the Red Line. Is that right?
Yes.
Can you tell us like what that experience was like and how that has been also now that you've seen sort of like seen an idea of like how it's looking like it's going to be when we release it?
Yeah, it was really great because writing is another thing that I've always been passionate about. And kind of like theater in the past, it was something that I didn't get as much chance to explore because I was so focused on other things, specifically dance. And I have done a little bit of professional writing work. I've had some plays read. I've written stuff for productions. And being able to be on the writing team for the Red Line was great because being kind of on the editing side was more of a new experience for me. And it was really great to be able to just be there with the story the whole time and work with the writer and the other team members to make sure that it was the best possible version of itself. I love playing with words. I love figuring out stories. And I mean, there wasn't like major overhauls that needed to be done, but I loved being like a sounding board for the writer, so that we could figure out what was going to be the best. And it really came to something amazing.
I feel like that would be really exciting. It'd be really exciting when we eventually when it comes out and you can watch it and kind of see someone say something and be like, oh, that was my idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be really cool.
I also because as some people may know, I am the director of writing. So why'd you roll your eyes at that? I was saying that for the audience purposes, Mark.
Okay.
Jeez. No, so I got to see when Jules was applying for the writing team, she submitted her Red Line script as like her, like, God, words are not coming to me today.
Application.
Yeah, application. Her sample writing. There it is. Sample. So I basically have gotten to read the Red Line through each of its stages. And just the development from where it was, which was amazing to begin with, but like to where it ended up, it was just so incredible. And I'm very happy I got to be part of it. Like, just felt really good.
Mm-hmm.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's always easy to do a great job when you have something great to work with and great people to work with.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to hear more about that, especially next podcast episode when we bring Jules in to also talk about
Red
Line more.
We're gonna have Jules the next time, and I believe the show comes out on June 6th. And
editor's note: this is wrong. It comes out June 5th.
Really excited.
So soon.
That is very soon.
It's like a couple of weeks from now. I don't even remember.
It feels like just yesterday when Jules brought it to the team, and now the actual show's nearly finished.
Mark, AVPM feels like it was yesterday. Like this whole year has been
weird.
So fast. It's been so fast.
what a mess of a show. Iconic though.
Yes, iconic. Mess, but iconic. So, Ari, do you have any questions for us before we send you on your way?
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, have you guys done podcasting before? Or is this your first kind of foray into it?
Before this podcast. Yeah, we've done this podcast and that's all.
Oh, cool. You seem like you've been doing it for so long.
I sort of joked about it back around the time the first Cabaret was coming out. And I remember like I was like pushing it on and I was like, hey, let me do a podcast. And then Mark was like, you should let me be your co-host. And I was like, yeah. And then eventually when it came time for like rebrand and everything, I was like, this is how we do it. And then
essentially Justin just kind of joked the podcast into existence.
Quite literally, that's exactly what happened.
That's the way to go.
And now it's here and they can't take it away from us.
That's amazing.
Never. Yeah, but I don't have any more questions unless you do, Mark.
No, on that note, is there anything that you as an individual would like to plug? You kind of like to give a little space for, you can plug your own stuff, you can plug stuff that, you want to get out there, anything.
I mean, I feel like so many things are just so up in the air right now. So I'm hesitant to plug anything that's like too far in the future. But definitely Lightning Thief is going to be amazing. Everyone should check it out as you get a chance. The process has been great. The people are great. And I really enjoyed the story. So it's really great to work on such an amazing show with amazing people.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk soon.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
You know, Mark, every time I talk to a dancer, it makes me wish that I could dance.
I've kind of just come to the point where it's never going to happen, so I've just stopped wishing.
I could do the renegade.
No, every time I dance, I look like a turkey having a nervous breakdown. It doesn't really work as well as, I hope. So.
Well, there was, for the listeners, this is my dancing ability. One time Mark and I were on a call, and I jokingly went to do the chicken dance, and I forgot. I just couldn't do it.
I never learned the chicken dance.
Really?
I don't know. I still don't know what it is.
It's like, I know it now because I did look it up after that because I was very, very upset. It's the hands. You go na 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 na, then do the wings. Da na 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 na. Then you shake your tush. Bum 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 bum. Da na 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 na. I really hope the audio listeners enjoyed that one.
I do, yeah. I'm sure they really enjoyed you half-heartedly singing the chicken dance.
I wonder if that's an actual name of a song. If it's just called the chicken, I'm gonna Google it really quick. Stand by, podcast listeners, while I Google chicken dance song. Chicken dance temp? What do you mean? It's called bird dance, actually.
The bird dance. Wow.
That's lazy.
Well, to be fair, it's no more creative than the chicken dance.
Yeah, but a chicken is a more specific kind of bird.
That's true.
Chickens are birds.
The peregrine falcon dance.
That's a lot of words.
Bird.
Too long, didn't read.
TLDR, dance like a chicken. That's why they call it the bird dance.
Ah,
yeah.
Makes sense. Anyways, as we said with Ari was here, the Red Line will be releasing. I just can't speak anymore, can I?
You never could. The Red Line will be coming out on June the 6th.
5th, you idiot.
What?
It's the 5th.
The 5th. You said the 6th.
Well, it's the 5th, and did I actually?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me check the message that I got literally not even 15, 20, 30 minutes ago.
That's bad.
Oh, it wasn't even in that message. Oh my God. Hang on. I'll look it up.
Well, we take a break for 5 minutes and we both forget how to do our jobs.
It's not that I don't think anyone's told us. Wait, it's in my calendar. I know this.
The episode with Jules is coming out on the 5th. But
no, the 5th is the Saturday. The show comes out on June 5th. However, I know where the 6th came from. Tickets are actually going to be releasing today, the day this episode comes out, which is Friday the 21st. And they will be coming out at 5 p.m. EST for $6. So get your tickets because the show is going to be good.
It's going to be, when we say good, it's going to be very good.
Very good, like phenomenal.
We can't hype it up enough.
Mark, do we want to redo that bit to try and get the information out better, or just let it go?
We'll let it go. We'll make sure it's on screen. It's like
okay. Yeah, just to repeat that one more time, in case our sentences weren't coherent before.
Your sentences.
The Red Line comes out on June 5th. That's a Saturday. And then tickets go on sale today, Friday, May 21st at 5 p.m. EST for $6.
This is 2021, by the way, guys.
No, really? Since when?
People might be listening in a year's time.
Yeah, if they're listening to old episodes of a podcast, I don't think they're going to be thinking they could go buy tickets on Friday.
They're listening to old episodes of our podcast. Anything could happen.
We're just going to go back and edit our own videos to put cryptic messages into them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's cool. It'll be cool.
So,
Red Line. I'm in it.
I'm not.
You consulted
I
on the
consulted,
editing.
which essentially TLDR for editing consultant is I did a minimalistic job but managed to earn myself a credit.
Well, anyways, I put a lot of work into it.
I'm proud of you, Justin.
The production team put a lot of work into it. The rest of the acting team put a lot of work into it. So it's going to be a phenomenal show.
It's gonna
The
be
writers put a lot of work into it.
They did, as we learned from Ari. The rest put a lot of work into it. And next week, you are going to hear, not next week, in next episode, you guys are going to hear all about that from the chief writer herself, the big cheese, Miss JW herself, Julia Witten. It's going to be incredible.
Yes, that will be coming out on the 4th, the day before the red line comes out. And I'm super excited.
I'm really excited as well.
Anyways, there's another car. Don't know if you can hear it.
No, I can. It's loud.
That's a rumbly
It's
one.
loud.
That's a rumbly one.
That's like my stomach this morning. If I'm being honest with you. I'm really hungry. I'm
I
gonna go get
hate
myself
it
an
when
EMT.
cars sound.
So
I hate it when cars sound like just like, you know, really deep farts. I don't like it.
sorry?
No, like when they rumble, you know. I don't think I
wow,
know what I'm saying.
The bar for this episode has been set so low. So low. It's practically underground. The bar for this.
Mark,
episode.
just do an outro. Just do an outro.
Thank you
It's fine.
guys so much for being a part of this episode. Please tune in next time to hear all about the official writing of Redline from the official writer of Redline herself, Julia Witten. And please do not hesitate to visit our website at www.cloudtheatrics.com. That is www.cloudtheatrics.com. And also, if you're currently listening and you want to see our beautiful faces, then consider subscribing to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/cloudtheatrics. I have been Mark.
I have been Justin.
We will
Now
see you
let's
later.
chicken dance our way out of here.
On Cloud 9, a Cloud Theatrics podcast is produced in affiliation with Cloud Theatrics. However, not all of the views or values expressed within this podcast necessarily reflect the views or values of our company. This podcast stars Mark James and Justin Coquetta. It is edited by Mark James and Justin Coquetta and produced by Emily Foster. Thank you for listening. See you next time.